Hi guys, and welcome to Biological Sciences for Year 10. In this activity we're going to be looking at the phenomenon of nature versus nurture. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, basically what it means is the fact that nature provides for everything that you are going to be. In your genetics, you basically got the ability to run, to jump, to sing, to listen, to think. There's a variety of information which is stored inside your cells, which gives you the ability to actually do something. Now, whether that characteristic is actually expressed is down to the environment that you live in. For example, let's look at school. You come along to school, and school, although it's about learning facts and what have you, which really is a small version of what school is about giving opportunities to you to actually pull forward some of the talents that you've got stored inside your genetic material. Now, if you're at a good school, what will happen is that a lot of experiences will be offered to you, and you will be able to use the genetic material which is inside you to see whether you're maybe good at music or maybe you're good at sport. So by doing a variety of different things, we nurture you so as we can pull out the skills, the talents which are there. Now, if you didn't have those experiences, you'd still have those talents, but you wouldn't be aware that they were there. So as a result, they wouldn't be expressed and they wouldn't come through. So basically what we're trying to understand when we look at nature is the blueprint of what makes you up, the characteristics of what makes you up, basically is not under your control at all. We've got that inside ourselves. But what is under your control is the environment within which you live. For example, you can look at a socio-economic situation. If you live in a very poor part of town, then the chances are the experiences that you are going to be offered may not be as rich as the experiences you might experience if you're in a higher socio-economic environment. Okay, so nurture basically talks about the situation where you might be. This could work really well if you had two twins or twins that were separated at birth. You separate twins at birth and put them in different areas of the world. Will they grow up in 30 years' time and be exactly the same? Well, the probable answer is no. The genetics are the same in identical twins, we know that, but depending on how they grow up will determine whether you're going to be similar. Let's look at music as an example. If you're listening to a certain piece of music, there is certain music that you say, yeah, I really like that, and there's certain pieces of music that you say, no, I can't stand it. Now, is that a genetic fact, or is it because you've been nurtured into listening to a variety of different things and you're not used to it? Let's take sort of Western pop. If you take Western pop music, it's all written in a specific way. But if you take sort of Eastern music, some of the music sounds maybe flat or sharp or what have you, and you don't quite appreciate it. Jazz is a good example possibly of that. Some people love jazz and some people can't stand it because it seems to be off-key and slightly offbeat. It doesn't fit in with the way that you have developed. So this is an idea of basically nature going against nurture. If you've grown up in that environment, then maybe it sounds fine. But if you haven't, then it doesn't. So any genetic material that you've got that will enhance that experience hasn't been expressed. So if we look at the pictures here, the arrows which we've got, you can see we've got genetic against environmental. Now genetic, down the left-hand side on that genetic arrow, we've got certain things which are not under any control. They're controlled directly by the genes. For example, Down syndrome, you've got haemophilia, club foot. They're genetic problems which we've got, and we can't do anything about it. You either have it or you don't have it. Now environmental, if you look right at the end, you've got something like scurvy. Now scurvy was a disease which was seen in the old wooden sailing ships, and it's basically down to a lack of vitamin C. because you didn't get a lot of fresh fruit. Well, that's got nothing to do with your genetics. It's got everything to do with the environment in which you live in. If you're very poor and you can't afford to buy fresh fruit, then you're not going to be getting any vitamin C, so that disease is going to come through. Diabetes, you can see, is sort of in the middle there. People can get diabetes by the diet that they work. That's the nurturing bit. You can also have diabetes because of a genetic problem. That's why it's sitting close to the middle. So that's what we're trying to show with that arrow there. And if we just run through the bullet points for nature and nurture, it just says that nature is a genetic variation that occurs between individuals, and it talks about the idea that these are the types of information which you gain from your parents. It's got no control. You've got no control over it. Okay? So, for example, a singer. If you're a really good singer, then basically what's happened is you've got good pitch in your ears, so your ears are working correctly, and you've got good control of your vocal cords. So someone who's a talented young singer basically has got very good vocal cords, very good hearing. They can pitch the note just at what they want to do. If you're not very good, then the result is it's the opposite. Now, whether you become a good singer is dependent on how you're nurtured, how the experiences go. Maybe you go in a school play or that sort of thing. All right, so that's where the nurturing side comes in. Same with athletics. If you're a really good runner, you could be a really good runner initially because of your genetics, because your muscles are specifically designed so that they work correctly. Your lungs are able to deliver large quantities of oxygen to those muscles so that you can run. That's the genetics. Whether you are nurtured to become a professional athlete is dependent on the experiences that you're put through. Do you get a coach at a young age? Are you seen by a spotter for a team, etc., etc.? So that's the nurturing side, encompassing the nature side. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. It's a nice little topic. Have a look at the video which I've posted underneath this from YouTube, and yeah, it might allow you to see nature versus nurture in a little bit more detail. Thanks for watching.